Hey folks, yeah, I kind of look like I'm a little out of it, so I just got off work a little while ago, and before I went to work today, around a little before noon, about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes before noon, I got a package from the ISRAELDECOY, known as Ignacio Hernandez, Iggy, if you will, on Facebook, and Iggy, if you've watched several of my package opening videos, and even Zara Nizarak's package opening video. Well, as you know, Ignacio, Iggy, and Frank Hill, it's Frank, have sent Zara Nizarak a lot of packages, basically to help out with our collection, because we all know financially times are tough. And right now, as it seems to be, this is the last package that Ignacio is going to send me for a while, until finances pick up, especially because of the holiday season and other personal family situations behind the scenes that we don't like to discuss. Anyway, long story short, Ignacio Iggy ISRAELDECOY said he was going to send me an epic package. And true to his word, it was an epic package. Size-wise, you're looking at about this size. Okay, a little about that size. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger. About that size. About average size. So you're looking at like this, about this. Okay, so he promised me it, and he sent me the package. You'll see the package opening on my channel. And he sent me a total of 9 DVDs, 9 series sets, if you will, of shows that I grew up watching as a kid. And among these shows were the second volume of Jason the World Warriors, thus completing the series for me. This is volume 2 of Jason the World Warriors, like I said, thus completing the entire series for me, because he sent me the other volume to kind of tide me over. The complete series of Street Sharks, yes, I did see this a few times. Didn't see the entire series, but it's nice to have. But yeah, Street Sharks, he sent me the complete series there. He sent me volume 2 of the DC Comics Classic Collection, Super Friends. Right there, nicely embossed too. So he sent me that. He sent me Super Mario World, the complete series, nicely embossed in the front there, and with the lettering. Kind of a little embossing there with the lettering. And it's the collector's edition, embossed right up there. You got some nice embossing, I will say that. Right here too, and down here. Of course, it's a slipcase, so it's nice. But, and sorry, somebody just messaged, so I just either got an email or a Facebook message. That was the sound you heard. Anyway, he sent me this. Then, he sent me Season 1, Volume 1 of the Smurfs. It's nicely embossed on that too. And then to top it all off, he sent me Season 1, Volume 1 of She-Ra, Princess of Power, which is nicely embossed here. And then to finish it off, he sent me not one, but two, Volume 1 and Volume 2 of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, both nicely embossed. And if you've seen Zero Nizarek's videos in the background on his DVD shelves, you'll notice it kind of lines up in a piece kind of deal, sort of like a picture deal. So that's nice to have. So, despite the fact that I now have these, there's one missing. Yeah, you'll notice it's in the package opening, but it's missing. And that would be Dungeons and Dragons. Now, for anybody that knows the stories of Dungeons and Dragons, this may not be new to you. But for some of you that probably don't know, let me explain in short terms. Back when I was a kid, my mom had heard a story, and she wasn't the only one. She, along with other parents around the country, the world, had heard a story, several stories, I guess, but one main story. This story was about a mother, or a family, whatever, but a mother or a family that had owned the Dungeons and Dragons board game. And one day, the mother looked to the corner of the room and swore and said basically she had seen one of the demons, one of the demonic demons from that board game in the corner of the room, or something like that. And basically because of that, my mom, along with several other parents, religious or not religious, several parental groups, have stood up against things like Dungeons and Dragons and have been against them. That is why when I showed my mom what Iggy had sent me, the first thing she did when I showed her Dungeons and Dragons is she told me, hey, you've got a choice. You're either representing him up there who died for you, or you're representing the darkness below you. And being a born-again Christian and having love and respect for my mom and knowing that Jesus died for me on the cross, I did what was best, and I let her do what was best. She took the DVD set, which was the complete series, put it in the kitchen garbage, tied up the kitchen garbage, took it to the main trash, took it to the main trash can, put it inside, shut the door, shut the lid on it, and that was it. Now I know some of you might ask, well, Brian, why'd you even show her your package? Well, here's the thing. Iggy had told me that, and this is the letter he sent me, Iggy had told me that the package was going to come on Saturday. Now, of course, I didn't know exactly what he was sending me. And I told him in a video, like I'm telling you people now, that it's kind of my fault for not letting him know exactly what he can and cannot send. And he messaged me back after he watched the video, and he apologized. He said he basically completely forgot about the stories of Dungeons and Dragons, like the one I talked about. And he sent his sincerest apologies to my family, to my mom. And I told him she understood. Because my mom basically agreed. He probably didn't know. Mostly because I didn't tell him. Because I had no idea he was going to send it. But now he knows. And I know, Frank Hill, if you're watching this, I know you know. I know some of you might be watching and thinking, well, Brian, it's none of her business. Well, when she's there when the doorbell gets rung by the mail person, and the package, like I said, that was this big, is left on the porch, and she kind of teasingly says, "Oh, open it up, let's see what you got." And then asks, "Well, let me." And then even when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna open it, don't worry," but she in turn says, "Well, let me know what you got. Let me see what you got." You have no choice but to show her because she's curious. She's going to be curious. So I showed her, and as you will hear in the package opening, I was very weary when I held Dungeons and Dragons in my hand. I was very weary because I knew it was going to hit. It was going to end up someplace where it was good. I had a feeling it was going to end up exactly where it was going to end up, basically, and I was right. You see, if my mom had her way, and any other parental groups, parents, like I said, religious or not religious, if they had their way, after the stories they've heard about Dungeons and Dragons, if they had their way, shows like Dungeons and Dragons, maybe Smurfs, maybe He-Man, She-Ra, who knows what else, those shows would become extinct. Period. They would take every copy of those shows, or whatever they felt was in relation to that show, Dungeons and Dragons, or that franchise. They would take every copy of the show and make sure it never existed. They would burn it, they would take it and destroy it until it didn't exist anymore. It was erased from people's minds. Yeah. Now again, you might be saying, well, now I know you might be saying, well, what's the difference between He-Man and She-Ra and Smurfs and maybe even Jace? What's the difference? We don't get the difference. Well, the difference is this: He-Man and She-Ra and the Smurfs, as far as I know, never had a board game when they came out. Never. Second of all, as far as I know, He-Man and She-Ra and the Smurfs never had reports of demonic creatures showing up in the corner of people's houses. Never once. Never once. And furthermore, my mom knows I used to watch these shows as a kid. So she pretty much knows there's nothing really wrong with them in terms of what Dungeons and Dragons is. So that's why I'm able to watch them. Smurfs, yeah, she has her reservations about that, but she still would rather have me have this series than Dungeons and Dragons. She'd rather have me have this and He-Man rather than Dungeons and Dragons. Because like I said, she, along with me and anybody else, has never heard of stories similar to what we had heard with Dungeons and Dragons. So basically, in this kind of unusual DVD update showing you exactly what had been added, showing you the DVDs that Ignacio had sent me, I thought I'd kind of let you know why the other one that you saw in the package opening is missing. And I hope a lot of you can respect that to me and anybody else that might be in a similar situation. And it probably makes you wonder why that show, that franchise, and all that is not even talked about that much anymore. There's your reason. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Thank you, Iggy, for sending the stuff. Again, I apologize for what happened, and comment down below, folks, and let me know what you think.